сразу. Ага.
Да, Диман, привет, на связи, да.
Ага. Что-то, по-моему, у тебя со связью, с интернетом.
Что-то есть.
Красной палочки. Ага.
Какая-то фигня есть. Блин, надеюсь, не помешает. Если что, переключусь, быстро подхватишь, если ты начну тупить интернет. Я переключу на другой Wi-Fi, на телефон, раздам. Я уже готов.
Посмотрел, что это чувак. Там в одном месте у него целевой.
Ну, Резов я не считал как целевого, чисто, что он там, там импортом, экспортом в России, в Америку делал.
Не,
Резов, да, ты
не,
имеешь в
West
виду?
Coast. West Coast, дистрибьютор в
Слушай, ну вот,
UK.
вот у
Посмотри.
меня подгрузился. Ага, we grow to become leading technology distribution service. Так, это вижу, да. Вот сейчас так пробежал просто с своих крысиных бегов. Wrote French of Resilience and Office Product Dealers in the UK and beyond. Но что-то есть. One UK distributor. UK, Ireland and Europe.
Вот смотри, я сейчас описание скину.
Я читаю about West Coast.
Ага, окей.
Не, ну по-любому, как бы там точно целевой вопрос, насколько. Ну да, это именно прочитал. Я тут про US не услышал, но не суть. Как бы есть какой-то кросс-бордер торговля, плюс резов, опять же. Что-то
Ну,
есть.
что-то есть. Сейчас я его пингану, пойду.
Так, как зовут его? Touch.
Тач, наверное. Вот очкошный этот Гетсеус, капец, вообще постоянно сбои, заколебал он уже. А? Ага. Сейчас еще на почту. Так, он United Kingdom, Лондон.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, hi.
Hmm.
Alex,
Hey, Taj, how are you?
I'm okay. Sorry, apologies. My computer's wisely started to do a Windows update, so I'm on my phone at the moment. So apologies, I had to download the app on my phone, hence my delay. How are you, Igor?
No worries at all. No worries. Thanks a lot for joining, and
Okay.
really great to have you here today. So let's get started then.
Okay.
My name is Alex.
Hi,
Dmitry
Alex.
is my Hi, Taj. Am I
Okay.
pronouncing your name correctly? Sorry for if not.
Yeah, that's fine. Taj is correct. So, Alex, it's yourself, Dimitri. Is Igor on the call as well? Is there three of you? Or is it just you, Alex and Dimitri?
Today we both Igor couldn't join today, but
Okay.
we are all together doing same business and totally aware of today's call ID and also looked like your LinkedIn profile. So we are uh, in totally. Let me then get started shortly.
Okay.
Let me like in a minute tell who we are and what we actually wanted to talk about today. So together with Dmitry, my partner and co-founder, we are doing a startup,
Yes.
a company. We're on like super early stage. We're like totally not like selling anything, providing anything. We are just doing discovery calls.
Okay.
The problem we are targeting in our like with our project, with our startup, is cross-border trade, so to say. So we are targeting US market
Okay.
in general, and we started to research problem space and frictions in B2B payment, B2B transactions, net terms management, all this stuff. And we came up to the actual problem of American of US customers who want to buy from Europe, since there is a trade war with China, and Europe kind of hub, as it seems to be from their side. I mean, we have like starving crowd of companies who want to buy, but there is still a friction that doesn't allow them to buy on same terms as they used to do inside US. So that's in general friction we found out, and we targeting. And in order to go deeper there, we started to, research and discover the problem from supplier side, from European supplier side, from market players in Europe, in other side of the business, who actually might potentially supply to the United States. So the problem space we are discovering is B2B transactions, where distributor in Europe sells to wholesale customer in US. Well, we learn your profile, and from one side, it's like 100% match that you are in finance and you're like very exciting, experience, and especially in Resolve, which is which used to be one of the reference project we looked at in terms of what we want to build. From the other side, I'm not sure if you did some cross-border trade with US specifically, but it's not like really what matters on like current stage. We did like maybe 60, 70 different interviews. Mostly, to be honest, it's B2B inside US. And since we switched to cross-border part, we started to investigate this problem space between Europe and US. So yeah, that's where we are.
A couple of questions, and sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
But okay,
Sure.
where are you? Where are you funding? So you're helping with the cash. You're loaning the money to the customer. Is that correct? What's the product? Is it?
Let me shortly explain what we are right now discovering. So we found out that US customers used to buy on net terms. So they expect, get products
Net
and to pay like 30, 60, 50 days. So they require terms. And also, it could be like just no limit net terms. It could be some certain credit limit. Let's say net $100K of credit limit, and with net 30 or above is prepayment, down payment. So when it starts with when it goes with the suppliers from Italy, let's say, we have a bunch of customers who buy from Italian distributors. It just doesn't work this way. I mean, for some reasons, Europe just doesn't want to hear anything about terms. They just work on down payment, prepayment, and we want to find out why. I mean, it's kind of obvious that they try to mitigate the risks not being paid at the end. But the customers, they provide some financial statements. They also involve some credit insurance companies, even European, but it still doesn't work. So the idea we want to check is that there is some certain level of risk that European companies maybe cannot handle. So, and we assume that there is something that could convince European companies to, go ahead. Maybe they want to, I don't know, from this point, we switch to, investigation, and want to hear more feedback from actual suppliers. Why this way? Either they don't interested in, selling anything to US. They just don't need this, market, or they just want to deal with European or whatever else. So that's absolutely
There's-
uncertain point for us. We want to understand better.
Right, so a company in Italy, let's say I'm the company in Italy, I want to sell something to someone in Washington, DC.
Yep.
Where do you come in? Are you you're going to fund it, you're going to give the money to the supplier or to the purchaser? Who are you loaning the money to?
Well, there's no answer. I mean, we didn't, since we are a startup, we move this way. We have a problem from customer side. They say, we're gonna buy and pay in 30 days.
30, yeah. What will happen is normally a customer is going to want to buy the product or the inventory and hold it on 30-day terms so that they can sell it, and then they will use the sales money to pay for the purchases. So in America, you can normally have net 15, net 30, net 60 is unusual. Net 60 is quite long. So the other question is, does the net start from the day the shipment arrives or from the day the goods leave Italy? Because it might take 7 days, or how long does it take for the product to get to Italy, for example? You've got to factor all that in. So there's different things you need to consider. So if it leaves Italy on Monday, the 1st of January, when does it arrive in Washington? Is it the 7th day? Is it the 5th day? And then is the invoice date 30 days from invoice date from the 1st, or is it 30 days from the day it lands in America? Do you follow? So there's different things we need to consider. So that's one. If you're doing your credit checks, then you've got Dun & Bradstreet, you've got Experian, there's various credit agencies you can check. So you're already doing that. So that makes sense. The other thing to consider is sales tax. So in the UK, in the US, there'll be withholding taxes and there'll be sales taxes as well. Sales taxes are more for the purchaser, because they're going to sell it to their customers. So that might be less relevant. But when they pay the supplier, they might need to withhold something. So you might need to check if there's a tax treaty between America and the European country. So the UK and America have got a double taxation treaty. If you get taxed in America, instead of paying you $100, they might pay you 100. They might pay you 90. Then the 10 euros you hold back, you have to claim from your tax authorities in England. I don't know what it is for each region, but you'd need to investigate the withholding tax as well. So net 15 or net 30 seems reasonable. That seems fine. But normally American suppliers will also say pay down 30% or something. You can ask for a deposit. Sometimes you can build a relationship by getting them to pay the money up front for the first 2 orders. Then it drops to 30% on the 3rd order. So that's about relationship management with you. How many customers are there in America at the moment, potentially, that you're talking to? 70?
Well, at the moment, we talked to 70 different companies and found out like a segment of customers who GMV is like 30 to 50 million per year dollars, and their like wholesale purchase from Europe is 5 to 10 million per year. So that's our target segment. It's small to medium business. The fraction of this segment is big, like not big, like middle size marketplace Amazon sellers.
Yeah.
That's one of the segment. They have like quite fast turnover, low margin. That's why they need some terms. Answering your question, do we provide liquidity to suppliers or to customers? We don't go to solution yet, since the problem is not discovered yet 100%. I mean, if the solution could be, Europe doesn't work with US, so we need legal entity in Europe, and we need to actually buy wholesale, estimate the risk from customer. That could be a solution. In this case, we just wholesale buyers. But maybe there is some scheme to connect banks or insurance, or create some insurance or any other type of solution. So that's why we are not sure that the money is the issue and the money is solution. If not, okay, we go to liquidity issue and go to risk estimation there, finding liquidity there, providing, connecting, etc. So that could be solution. At this point, what we don't understand is what the constraint, why it just doesn't happen. Let's say the guys, specific client, want to buy some household appliances or small like utilities, electronics, etc. in Italy. The order value is 100K euro. So they approach, they say, here's our financial statement, here's our references from other European suppliers where we did that for like small checks, 5, 10K. Here is our backup from credit insurance alliance. It's called alliance group. And if we don't pay you, those guys connect and they back up in terms of payments. And here's a contract between us, and this alliance company is actually located in European Union, and they get rejected, and the deal doesn't happen. So what the reason behind it, that's what we actually want to understand, the main issue.
Right, so the company you've set up, is it currently onshore in America? Your company, is it based in America? San Francisco? Okay.
Yep.
So there's always trade between Europe and America. Obviously the Biden government are trying to put tariffs on, etc., but that doesn't mean there's no sales. Of course, they want to trade with America. Europe should be trading because it's a big customer. It's one of the biggest customers in the world. So America, China, India, the 3 biggest customers. So the more you can sell to them, better it is for you. So I need to have a bit more information. Let me have a think about what you're saying. Give me a day. Let me have a think about. I'll come back to. Should I come back to Igor on LinkedIn? Is that okay? Or you link in with me, and I'll just come back with some ideas or some thoughts of more information that I need.
Yeah, absolutely. I think let us then maybe give some more details, more information, so that we continue next time, on more specific.
If you're happy, in confidence, if you're happy to share some more details with me, the US company is based in which state, and then I can pull together what I think's happening, and then let me have a think about it over the next day or so and come back to you on a message. So just send me a LinkedIn message, and I'll come back to you on it and come back with some ideas.
Do you need anything else? I mean, some inputs from us so that we.
Well, an idea would be to get an example of which customer in Italy saying no and why they're saying no, but I can't talk to them because I don't know that they don't know I'm working with you or anything. So it'd be good to understand why the Italian supplier has said no. What's their reason for saying no at the moment? Do we have something in writing? Alex, you still there? I think we've lost Alex.
Yeah, I think the connection was sent. I think he will connect using another internet connection. Alex, can you hear us?
Yep.
Yeah, now it's much better. Sorry, my computer just dead. Now I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah. Now okay.
The question was, do you need anything specific from our side so that we proceed next time?
I think if you can let me know, have you got something in writing from the Italian supplier saying why they can't grant credit? Have you got something from them?
No, I mean, what actually we do have right now, what we do have, we have a bunch of customers who say we have a problem and we are ready to buy and we are ready to cover, some fee if you like some certain percentage of total turnover if we make this happen. They just show some letters saying they get rejected. They say we try to work with this trade insurance company with that, but all the time they get rejected when they talk about like checks like 100K, 50K. It works with the 5K. So with the
risk, it's the risk
amount. Yeah, it works with small amount of average order value, but from big side, just doesn't work. And they still pay. They have to pay. They take, go to lending companies and get just money for like 2% per month, let's say, short lending, and actually buy on down payment 100% and get the products turnover. But it just doesn't work. Turnover could be increased by double, triple if they would have, net 30 terms. From which moment, from shipping to US or before, that's absolutely not the deal breaker, and that's negotiable.
Okay.
And we found just trying to, understand if there is like a constraint on supplier side. So just a few questions before we, switch. Did you have such, case when you sold something on wholesale to US? Could you please describe how it actually happened, how this terms negotiation happened? What's your, as a supplier standpoint, your like preferable condition, preferable terms you would like to work for?
So, okay, so I've got examples when I was at West Coast when we were selling IT kit to companies in Ireland, for example, that weren't in. And what we used to have is we used to have a company called a Tradius that would be our insurers. They would then say, this company, we can insure up to £500,000, up to £100,000. They'd tell us the amount they're happy to insure. The customer would have to share their financial information with the insurers. The insurers would then come back to us at West Coast and say, this customer is good for a credit limit of X, or 50,000 or 100,000. So you're already doing that with Alliance. I'm not sure whether we need to look at other insurers that might be a bit more favorable, might be a bit more happy to take a little bit more risk, but might be a bit more expensive. So that'd be the first thing I'd look at, is insurers to say, why is Alliance saying no to this supplier in Italy for a 5,000 limit or 10,000 limit, where you've got a customer that's prepared to pay 100,000 on an order? So I think that's it. You might need to build a trading history by selling 5k, 5 or 6 times to build that trust and show that that's being paid. So they might want a bit more of a trading history with the customer and the supplier, if that makes sense. Do you follow?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just to, to be a bit more specific from my side, Alliance didn't say no. I mean, they say absolutely, we're ready, but supplier says no. Supplier rejects.
Oh, okay.
Supplier doesn't want to sell on terms, like anyway. And either it's just no-go politics, we just don't go with terms for non-EU companies, or it's just too high risk and there's something that could cover it. Maybe some more flexible, insurance, maybe some coverage, or maybe some down payment, or maybe some legal entity in Europe who actually deals with this supplier and resells to US or anything else. So that's the issue. It's on supplier side. That's why we are targeting suppliers to get this feedback, why it actually happens this way.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to get a little bit more information from the horse's mouth to find out exactly what their reason is. But I think you're doing everything I do. You're already looking at insurers. You're already looking at the only difference. Have they said anything about whether it's the company, whether it's the ownership? Have they asked for the ownership structure of your company? Are you involved in it? Where do you get involved at the moment? You're brokering the deal.
Well, at the moment, again, we didn't set up a company. I mean, maybe I didn't understand you correctly before. Your question was if we are like incorporated in US. So the answer is not yet, because we are not sure that we have to.
Okay.
We have customers who are US based, and they are like 100% US based companies, and we have suppliers of those customers who are European Union based, and we have a problem. So now we're just discovering why this problem actually happens. Either a way to resolve so that this transaction happens, and if yes, what the solution behind it should be, like some liquidity pool, some credit insurance company, some scoring like tool, some legal entity somewhere in Europe, and somewhere what the structure of the solution could be. And after that, it just a few months and it's done. From outside we can build anything if this anything actually solves. But what the problem, since it's not resolved yet, we don't go ahead. So right now, what we actually want to find the answer we try to find suppliers in European Union
Yes.
who potentially could be interested in shipping to US. That's first. We look for contacts of credit insurance companies to talk to them and ask what the experience is. Maybe they see much more transactions, and maybe they say, if you cover the risk this way, it happens. If that way, it doesn't happen. And give some idea what condition could be met to make this transaction happen. If you can support also with this kind of contact, would be like really great.
Okay,
so
send me
a
LinkedIn connection request. I've got a friend that has worked in Italy before. Let me find out if there's anything specific with Italy. Are you having trouble in other countries as well in Europe, or is Italy the main problem at the moment? Alex?
I lost you guys.
Okay. Can you hear me, Alex? Dimitri, can you ask Alex?
Yes,
yeah, just ask
I suppose
ask,
some problem connection. But before, I would like to ask. You worked some time ago in what's the name? West Coast Limited.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what's the percentage of US buyers did the company have? What's the percentage of US buyers do you have?
Well, West Coast used to buy in from America. They used to buy in from. It was more with Ireland rather than so. Resolve was non-physical product. So I've sold software into the US. Physical product, I haven't sold much physical product into the US, but I know the rules in terms of withholding taxes and duty and stuff. So I'd have to look into that a little bit more. West Coast was more buying equipment from HPE, HPI, but most of that used to come in through Ireland. They used to have a hub in Ireland to avoid some of the bureaucracy. So they'd have the stock sitting in Ireland, a warehouse in Ireland, in Cork or in Dublin, or they'd have stuff in Bucharest or Romania or somewhere, and the stock would come from Europe rather than coming direct from the US.
Okay. Who was your main buyers? What is your target buyers? What what was your target audience? Who were you to sell?
Okay, so in the UK, we basically sold to Currys, to Amazon, to AO, Dixon Stores Group, government, education, local authorities. We'd sell to anyone in the UK. So they'd sell Apple, Surface, Microsoft, HP, Samsung, Acer, Lenovo. All of those would HP. West Coast are one of the biggest distribution companies, disties in the UK at the moment.
Was it mostly electronic appliance?
Yes, it was mainly computers, IT equipment primarily. So
okay, can you please describe shortly how average deals look like? I mean, how did you sell them? Did you got prepared from money from them, or did you provide them some installments like net 30, net 60? How this financial look like?
Okay, so depending on the size of the customer, we put everything through an insurance company first. The insurance company would say yes, they're insured up to 100,000, or up to 500,000, or up to $1 million, depending on their financials. We would then give them, typical would be net 30 days from invoice. If it's a bigger customer and they're buying bulk, they might ask for 60 days. And on certain examples, they might get 90 if they're buying like millions and millions of pounds worth of stuff. So it would vary based on the size of the deal and the size of the buyer, size of the purchaser. And then basically we would then collect the invoicing. Some customers that never had any credit limit, we would ask them to put a down payment down as a deposit. And then over time, as we get a trading history, you can then start giving some of that money back to them because you build up that trust with them. And you stick to, what you give them an internal credit limit of say $500,000, they put $500,000 down in a bank account. 3 months later, you can give them half that money back, and you give them $500,000 still, and then you build that trust and trading history with them. That's another way of doing it.
Mm-hmm,
Do you follow?
What kind of insurance company did you use for safety your deal?
I think from memory, I think it's a company called Atradius was the company. ATR. I'll check up. I'll check quickly, and I'll get a message back to Eagle this afternoon, just in terms of the name of the insurance company.
Or deals did mm-hmm.
Go on, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, or deals did you go through insurance company, or with or just you involved insurance company with the new clients just only?
No. You have a policy with the insurance company for a year, and at every deal you'd always, if it's a new customer, you'd always go to them. If it's less than a certain amount, less than your excess, then you wouldn't bother. You can discretionary let it go. But normally, to protect yourself, if something goes bad, you always put everything through the insurance company as a new customer. So your 70 clients in the US, you'd ask them to basically, you send their details to the insurance company and say, can we get a credit limit for all of these 70 accounts? And every time a new one joined, you get a credit limit for them as well. So that way, if they don't pay, there's an insurance policy that will cover you for that.
How did you work with the new clients, with permanent clients that understand you have some history with them and you have some trust with them? What about the new clients? How the process of providing goods look like? How the process of providing net terms looks like with them?
Okay, so the first thing you do is you get, as soon as you join, you have an onboarding form. So you'll have a customer form. That customer form will then go to your insurers and say, look, can you get there's 5 or 6 things you'd ask them for. You'd ask them for certificate of incorporation, last 3 years accounts if they've got them, any financial information they can provide you. You then send that to your insurer. So the first process would be to go through risk and insurance to make sure that you can trade with the customer and they're not going to run off with your money. So that's the first thing you do. Once you get that answer back from your insurance limit company, risk company, you then discuss that with the customer, saying this is what we can get you, this is what you want. So if you can get $500,000 credit insurance and they want $1 million, you say, right, give us the balance on as a deposit and we'll send up to $1 million with goodwill. And then that way, that's the first thing you need to do with most of these deals. That's the best way to protect yourself, in my opinion.
Okay. Is it convenient to work with the insurance company? Is it 100 guarantee that you will get your money from the buyers if you involve the insurance company, or are there some disadvantages?
There'll be an excess. Though you're going to lose. It depends on the terms, how strong you can negotiate. But they might say we'll cover. They might say they'll cover 75%. They might cover 90%. There'll be different rules. So if you go above the credit limit, then that's at your risk. If you stay within the credit limit, they'll say, right, they'll cover up to 90%, and there'll be strict terms where we've got to make sure you've got to chase the customer and you've got to follow processes if they're not paying you on time. You have to report anyone that's not paid on time. So there'll be strict rules and policies and procedures to follow to make sure the insurance is valid.
Okay, Touch, we have limited conversation. It will end less 1 minute. Can I, when you in your link, new Zoom, I have a few questions just on that. I will send it.
Can you just LinkedIn me your number, and then what I'll do is I've just got to go and pick my son up now from school. So I'll basically, because I'm running late now, and what I'll do is I'll send you my mobile number, and you can give me a call later on in an hour or so. That's okay.
Through the Zoom is not convenient for you at the moment.